gaze on the Virgin assumed, they understand that present difficulties are passing. While the glory promised to the faithful
I have to get a picture of
this
this.
eschatological perspective frees the soul from
This is how sick I am,
anxiety
people.
and directs it towards its true heavenly
I
destiny.
sneeze.
The second spiritual fruit is the purification of Christian love
I,
through the imitation
I
of Mary's
used to
virtues.
have.
Mary assumed
There's
that
a
heaven
there's a
contains
little
all the
thing that you can
perfections
buy
that
that looks
adorn
just
her
like
earthly
this.
life. Profound humility,
But you don't
perfect
sneeze,
obedience,
right?
ardent
You're in
charity,
front of people.
angelic
You
purity,
sneeze,
heroic
get it popped.
fortitude in
Yeah,
suffering.
get it popped.
Devotees of the Assumption strive to imitate these virtues in their own lives, knowing that Mary needs to obtain from her Son the graces necessary for growth in holiness. Devotion to Mary
Documenting my sickness 630 or more days since October the 12th. No, not October the 12th. December the 8th was my last day of COVID. I got it on the 24th of 2023. So add up the days after COVID, I got long COVID, pneumonia. And I've been like this, coughing and hacking for 600 and some days. And all the time, I'm praising God with my guitar every day, despite all the sickness and everything. Jesus says, hang in there, Billy. Don't quit. Hang in there. Don't quit. And you find yourself quitting. You don't want to get up. You don't want to do nothing because you're sick. But you've got to force yourself to get up, move around, fight your sickness. You just lay around, you just shrivel up and die. Just go back in the embryo stage. I've already started that. I've gone from 5'10" to 5'7.5" now, or 8, something like that. I lost all that. 1/16 of an inch between each spine. In your spine, there's those one on top of each other. I forgot what they're called now. Spindles? I don't. I took sports medicine at my junior college. And I learned all the bones and, all the therapies and all that stuff. And I'm going to get into sports medicine. How to take reflexology, through reflexology. I like reflexology. I believe in it because I have a tool here. I don't know where it is, but it must be. It's not supposed to be talked about right now. But I do have a tool that I put on the back of my head, and it vibrates. And it vibrates so deeply. It clears up my sinuses, everything. I can start breathing. Like right now, I can't breathe through my nose. Right? Oh, and now would be a good time to show you. How can I find, where did I put that thing? Oh, I've never prepared people. Here it is right in front of me. I bought it the other, this right there. This thing vibrates at 7 speeds. Right. And I use it. Now, I don't recommend that anybody has carotid arteries or anything like that. I don't even know if I do. But man, it feels so good on the back of my neck. I'm telling you. So here's what you do. You push the button and it starts it right now. It has phase 1. You'll hear it right. Phase 2. Phase 3. Phase 4. Phase 5. Goes up to, let me phase it. Let me count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 phases. Okay, the 7th, it goes back to the first one, which is a low vibration. Now you can use that. Now, I don't use this on my face or around any place. It's not meant for that. This is for deep muscle. This is for the muscle, the deep muscles, like in your neck. It's like, it's vibrating right now. Nice little vibrating. Watch now. If I push in on it, watch what happens. Oh my God. Now watch. My sinuses will clear up. I'll be able to breathe through them in a minute. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. I'm breathing. Breathing through my sinuses. Through my nose. I had it busted. I busted my nose. I fixed it myself. I didn't have any money. Young, 20 years old. The doctor says, you come in $80, I could have fixed that up for you for $80. Should have came right to me. You know, he's the fighter, the fighter doctor. You know, all the guys with broken noses, they all go to him. You know, and he fixes them. And okay, now next time wear headgear. You know, a steel bar don't crush your nose. You don't get it busted again, idiot. You know, what's the matter with you? Middleweight going in with a heavyweight champion of California. The heavyweight amateur champion, that is. I forgot I don't even know what his name is. It's been so long. 50 years ago. Big-headed middleweight from New York. You know, I just come in and I'm beating the shit out of everybody for the first 3 or 4 or 5 rounds. Then after that, then the professionalism sets in. And they've been trained to let him work it out for 4 or 5 rounds until he's pooped. And then I'll come on strong. Kick the shit out of him. That's what they used to do. The good ones, the good fighters. Oh, they all did it too, man. You can pound their head in. If you're a good amateur, keep them off you and all that. Because they fight you, you know. They get in there and try to fight you and everything. But they see you're all full of piss and vinegar for how many rounds can you stay like this? You know, I'm jabbing, bam, 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 moving around. How long can you do that for? How many rounds? 4th, 5th round. I don't know. By the 7th round, you go. That's the way it is in the fight game. Depends on how much you put into it. A lot of guys would train their legs, their cardiovascular system with their legs, so they can run 10 miles. Oh, they come in, well, they can run around the ring for 10 miles, man. They can run right around, run all over the place without being pooped. But if they start using the muscles from their chest and their arms, punching, that's where they get tired, see. Their legs can take them all over the place, all over the ring, right? Because they've conditioned their legs. But they didn't condition the back and forth motion of the upper body. It was just selectively. You're moving around, bam, bam. You're moving around, bam. But if you get in there and you're a fighter, you got to keep that jab going, bobbing and weaving. You've got to be a fighter. You've got to be in shape. And I was like that for the first 5 rounds. I was an amateur. I was never a professional fighter. But I hung out with the professionals, and I could kick their ass for 5 rounds until I pooped out. And then they come on. The trainers would go, okay, he's an amateur now. Just don't. That's it. He's out of there. Get him out of there. Because I'm slowing down now, right? He's waiting for me to slow down. We're going to go how many rounds? 10 rounds? In the gym now. This gym, you got headgear on and stuff. He's my weight. Armando Munez, his name was. He was super middleweight, welterweight, middleweight, right my weight, class 156. I bashed him all over the ring, man, for an amateur fight. If we were going to fight amateurs, I'd kick his ass. There's no way he could beat me. I would beat the piss out of him. First 3 rounds. But then the professionalism sets in, the long, I'm going to get you in the 10th round, or I'll get you in the 8th round, because you'll be so pooped, I'll just pound the piss out. And I'll just, come on. I've been saving it. I've been letting you pound the piss out of me, now you're going to get the piss pound out of you. That's the way it is in the fight game, people. I know. I'm the Rocky that didn't make it to be Rocky. I'm the Monteleone. I'm the mountain lion. I am somebody in life until I die, I guess. And I have 500 videos on YouTube. Nobody's watching them. Nobody even knows. They're on there. I don't know how to advertise them. I don't know how to get it out there. I was thinking of YouTube. If YouTube went into partners with me, and I give them a big cut because it would be all donations, and they helped me in my donations. And any donations I get, they deserve a cut of. And it's up to me, up to them, and if they want to try to do something like that. I propose this. Do they review videos when somebody's starting to catch eye of the people? Well, I haven't really caught the eye of the people yet. The right people. Because I go viral. Because I got some good stuff on here. I'm blooming in my old age. In the eve of my life, I'm blooming. So, today is a feast of the Assumption, the Blessed Mother, our Holy Queen. I have her enthroned. I have her in her son's arms. See, that picture is just a picture of Jesus knocking on the door. I added the Blessed Mother to it. And I added the resurrected Jesus coming on the cloud of glory on the right-hand side. If you see it, he's coming on a cloud of glory, and right under it is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit crowning the Holy Queen as the Queen of divinity and humanity. Oh man, what a 4-leaf clover she was to the Trinity. She was a 4-leaf clover. And they invented her too. They invented the perfect woman. This one doesn't stab Jesus in the back because Jesus is her son. A mother doesn't stab her son in the back. If she does, she can't be a good mother. She'll never stab her son. Her son can always count on her. She's the queen. See, way back in the days, who was the queen? If a king had 50 wives, which one would be the queen? It wasn't that way. The queen back in the days of the kings that had 50 wives, the queen was the mother. The mother of the king was the queen. And that's the way it is. Our Holy Mother is the mother of Jesus, our King. And she is queen by heritage. Yeah. Just by heritage. And she fits right in there, doesn't she? That's the Our Lady of Fatima. I cut it out. It was on a big book. And I cut it out and I pasted it in the arms of Jesus. A person saw this who was into art. She was a pretty good judge of it too. She owned her own shop and all that stuff, art shop and everything. She used to sell a lot of religious articles. She just went out of business. Some guy came in and bought the building, kicked her out. Business was going pretty good. Having a rosary in there on Monday nights. I mean, it was starting to build up. She was she was starting to do really well in there. I feel like I want to go and build her a building right next to her house. Just a little shop on a block. Just put it up, put a roof on it, stuff. And she can insulate it. And then when people want to come, she have a driveway, drive down in the wintertime or anything, or summer or whatever. She can have it shaded by trees and everything, and have a nice little shop right where she lives. Right? If she'd want to do that, and it would be by appointment only. She'd have to have a clientele. She'd have to get hold of all of her people that she used to be. I know she's got everybody's address or phone numbers and all that. Just let them know that she's in business for them. Not open to the public. It's a private. And then that way she can filter who comes and goes. I have to advertise this is a Catholic shop here. Everybody stop in. My hours are from blah, 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 blah to blah, 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 blah. She sticks herself in that little room every day. That's like going to jail. It is. Like going to jail all day long. You're stuck in it, and the weather's nice. You can be out driving around. You can be retired, this and that. And you're here doing a gift store. I done it. She did it. I watched her. I felt sorry for her because she was scrambling, trying to get rid of all of her stuff. She's going to take a big loss. So anyways, I bought a lot of her stuff that she had there. And she was happy. She was happy because she was selling everything. Everything was going. Everybody wanted a part of the Ave Maria gifts, Catholic gift shop. Out of business now. Well, it's good for her too, because she's getting up in age and she's going to have her time. She's going to be, maybe she can do mail orders and stuff. Have her own, that's the way she should do it. Have a mail order Ave Maria gift store. You just call me up and I'll take care of whatever you need. I'll find what you need and I'll order it for you. Having something like that, I wouldn't mind having somebody that could do all that stuff for you. I'm still looking for my hats. I got Simply Blessed hats. They never came. I wonder if they ever came. I have to get a hold of her. I don't have a number for her. Okay, let me see if there is a number. Here I am. Man. I've been stretching. I've been blowing my nose. Oh, my sinuses are clogged up again. See, I put that vibrator on the back of my neck. Right? Watch. I can't breathe through my nose, right? Watch. Put it on the high one. Put it on the back of my neck. Yeah, watch. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Come on now. Here it goes. Clearing up my sinuses. Watch. There it goes, see? Oh, man. Yeah, oh, jeepers. This is the way you use one of these people. Oh, man, these are good. Especially when you just got up and you're all sinus. I gotta get some sinus. Shut that off for now. Loud, isn't it? But anyways, I've got another one that's small that has a very soft tip on it, right? Very soft. And you put it on the end of your nose, and it just makes your whole face vibrate. It's weird. It's just weird. It makes your whole, everything vibrate. Your eyebrows, and your eyes, your head. And then you put it on your forehead. I wonder where that is. I want to show you that. Where is that? Oh, where are you? Where are you? You're never prepared. If I shut down, it ain't worth it. I'm shutting down now. I'm 23 minutes. I'm putting it on pause and have a song here. You got to do a song, man. Can't get away. I got to talk about the water wells in Kenya. Turn the deserts into gardens of Eden again. Yeah. All you multi-millionaires out there that love God, here's your chance, man. Fulfill the prophecy. The deserts will turn into gardens again, like Eden. Like the gardens of Eden, the deserts will turn back into gardens of Eden. Because the people will put water wells in to baptize the children. All the children will be baptized with all these water wells going in all over the deserts. Wherever there are villages or anything like that, there's going to be water wells going in and to baptize the children. And I predict that by 2035, there'll be 700 million new Catholics just by doing that right there. Putting water wells in the deserts where there are villages and nurturing those people in the Spirit of God. They're coming in the United States right now. We need them bad. Priests, holy ones too. There are some that got their hands out, but they come from a very subculture. They still believe in reincarnation. Some of them do. Or what we are helping out people in Kenya for. They eat meat up there. We don't eat meat. You can come down here and help us out. That's the Catholic community, the way they think. That's primitive too, isn't it, still? So we get a cultural clash, a dominant culture being infiltrated by a spiritual subdominant culture with all their, well, jeepers, did something for you the other day and you hit me with a $50 bill. Wow, he goes. And he brings it up the next time he's doing something for you. Yeah. Yeah, there's not very many people say, many priests that say, no, I don't take any money for anything I do. There are some that will, okay, you can write the check out to somebody, donate to somebody. They'll do that. And, but, they just won't take money, cash. See, all cash from these priests that are coming up from Kenya and all them, they're infiltrating our area right now. And they're holy. They're holy men. The ones that I've come in contact with. But there are some that you can feel like you can feel the greed in them. I'm here to get what I can get. I got into the priesthood to get out of the bushes, put my spear and blowgun up, and come into the United States. And now they made me a bishop. They made me a Monsignor. And now I'm in charge of a big church, a huge church. And here's a guy renewing the faith of the people by coming in and being holy. But if they're caught not being holy, the news will not give them a break. It will be all over the news. So I don't want to bring up those who weren't holy, that came up, took money from everybody, and went and got themselves a street corner honey and some Viagra, and had a heart attack and died. A priest. It looks like God isn't putting up with it anymore. You're not going to transfer him into someplace else. Hide us who he is. He's done. He does that, he's done. So all you that are coming in the United States that aren't of the Spirit, be aware. God is aware. Because God is in the United States of America. And you'll see when the laws change again. We're getting rid of perversion and we're getting rid of abortion. Murder and perverting the children. We're getting rid of it. And if they don't like it, they can leave. And then when they realize what they got or what they had, maybe they can come back. But they're perverting the children. That's where I got to put my foot down. Being a child that was perverted. Oh, man. I'm old now. I get into positions where I just got to do something about it, or I'll have a muscle spasm in my neck, like right now. Whew. Man, I just escaped that one. But anyways, to get back on a positive note, It's all right to be homosexual. You can love each other. But it isn't right to be lustful with each other. Stick your tongue down his throat and he sticks his tongue down your throat. You're pickle smooching. No, none of that. That's not what they do in the kingdom of God when you're in love with another man. If you're in love with another man, it's not expected that you pull down your pants. Not in the kingdom of God, that is. So all you people out there that think you're going to get 20 virgins if you kill all the infidels flying that plane into a building, you're being hoodwinked. Because there ain't, and that's why I'm using the word ain't. There ain't any lust in heaven, people. You don't get 17 virgins because you flew your plane into the building and killed 3,000 infidels. Who told you that, man? Who's believing that stuff? And being able to fly a plane? And they believe that if I fly the plane into the building, I'm going to get 17 virgins waiting for me when I get to heaven. That is so weird thinking. It's weird thinking. And I'm a Muslim. Heritage, that is. I'm Sicilian. The Muslims took over Sicily from 900 AD to 1100 AD. They dominated everything. And I'm in heritage, so I must have been a Muslim, or I probably would have been beheaded or something. 700 AD. When did the Muslims start? Same time they took over Sicily? 700 AD. No, it was 900 AD. 900 AD to 1100 AD. Sicily was ruled by the Arabs. And I am of that generation. I am a descendant of that generation. On my grandfather's side, he's Sicilian. He was thought to be the mulatto of the Italiano because they were so dark-skinned. Dark eyes, dark everything, dark. Not like me. I've got every color in my eye. I have a tape on here that shows my eyes. And a lot of people say, "Are you Chinese? Are you Chinese? You got Chinese in you, don't you?" I don't know what I got in me. I come from Sicily, and that was the stopping off point of every horny sailor on a ship going from the Orient to Europe or from Europe to the Orient. They all stopped off in Sicily and they all had their favorite spots. And there wasn't any condoms. So there was a lot of DNA exchange. And here you are. Here I am. And I got an exchange in me. It's really weird the way I looked at it. And on my mother's side, you can't even tell because she doesn't have any history past her mother's mother. Campanella or something like that. And that was an adopted name. She doesn't even know about, but they were all Jews. They were all Christian Jews, descended down from Mary of Magdalene. On my mother's side. But Jews had a law still there was Christian Jews, and they had royalty in their law because Saint Mary of Magdalene was part of the crucifixion. They brought her in, and let her marry into royalty because she was part of the crucifixion story. That's what I was told. All right. I'm just going by hearsay now because it's all verbal. Verbal and those that, written and verbal. So there's a lot of verbal that people are missing out on too. And there's a lot of reasoning too that goes along with it. For example, if the Arabs were in charge of Sicily between 900 and 1100 AD, and I am a descendant of that, I got Arab in me. You see, I'm a Muslim. I've got Muslim Arab in me. In my heritage, that is. I'm a cradle-born Catholic, but I have a Muslim background as well as a Jewish. My mother's side, that's my grandfather's side. My mother's father. He was Sicilian. And Sicilians are a mix of everybody, really. Because even the Chinese came through, they had stopping off. They had favorite spots. They spent their gold at. I didn't come for silver. I come for gold, man. I give gold. I don't give silver. Whatever. Who you gonna let in, man? Somebody with gold or somebody with silver, man? And here comes a Chinaman who's got gold, man. Let him on in, man. And here I am. A little bit Chinese in me. Oh, man, I'm everybody. I get Irish in me. My father's a full-blooded Irishman, man. Red hair, green eyes, freckles all over him, and, a fighter, too, man. He liked his booze. He liked his fellowship. He liked his buddies in the bar and the euchre games and, the card games and the things he did, That was his environment. That's how he sold his cars and everything. Hey, Donnie, we need a car, man. What do you got? You got anything that's good? Oh, I got a good deal for you. He's got all his buddies, right? And he can give them a good deal. Well, you got to watch out, though. He gave his family a good deal, and he sold them a car. Just to trade over, He didn't have an inspector or anything. He just gave him the car just for what he bought it for or whatever, trying to help him out. It's his family, right? So they went driving around town like they had a brand new car, Didn't get the brakes looked at, didn't get nothing looked at. Just drove around like they just bought it off a brand new car lot or something, Bought it off Donnie Nixon, blah, 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 blah. And he just handed it over to him. He didn't do any service on it. That's where he made this mistake. He didn't service the car. And it had bad brakes. And my dad had to go out of business after that one. I had millionaires behind him. They were all backing him, too. And he had a good business going. But, they trusted him, but they had their girlfriends in there watching as the secretaries, keeping track of the books and stuff. They have a girlfriend, a multimillionaire. I got a girlfriend, I want her to have a job over there with you. She'll take care of your books and everything. And that's his girlfriend, see. And his wife is a different story. Those aristocrats, man, the way they did things back then, they still do it that way in a lot of situations with multimillionaires. They got their wife and then they got their mistress on the side. The wife usually knows about the mistress, but she's not going to honk the horn and everything and start giving up everything she's got. She'll try to get it, but she might be afraid of her husband because he'll try to get it back. It all depends if you married a Christian husband or not. If you married a Christian husband, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But if you didn't marry a Christian husband and you went and took him, he's going to take it back. Somehow, some way, someday. Unless he's dead before that. Because hate begets hate. If you're a hater and not a forgiver, you're going to get it back. You're going to get everybody back. So that's why I have to be a forgiver. All the things that have been done to me the last days of my COVID. I had to go through all this in COVID. Man, I've had a fight in my old age. But the reward is music. And a deeper faith, a deeper walk in faith. A surrender novena. Do the surrender novena. It's on YouTube. The Sacred Heart Surrender Novena. And then your prayer life can advance. And your eyes will be open. And the Holy Mother will work. It's not perfect. I'm dizzy. It's not perfect. But how does a mother of God heal someone? That's what I'm waiting for. She saved me one time from a den of crocs, all waiting to grab me. I went right into their pool area where down in Florida there's this Star City way out between the Cape and Orlando. There's a place called Star City, and it has all these roads going out into the wilderness. And I had access to it because I was renting a building in that complex. So I had privileges of going on those roads wherever they went to in my van, hunting. I had a highway going into the deep jungles of Florida. And I went in there with a bow and arrow because I was dead on at 20 yards. Hit you right between the eyeballs every time. Yeah. I could put a bullet. I could put an arrow in your head like you could put a bullet in your head. I could point it wherever I wanted. Within 20 yards, I hit you. Wham! Right where I was pointing. Now, if you're charging, I don't know, I haven't had something like that happen. I almost had it happen. I had a mama hog and her 6 babies. 3 babies on each side. And I'm walking down this pathway. After I drove my truck way deep into the jungle, I got out of the truck and then crawled underneath. There was a fence. They had a river fence that guarded the river. Kept whatever's in the river out of the fields, going out into the fields and getting whatever they can get. Who knows who'd be in the fields? You know, a lamb, a sheep, some goats or whoever is grazing in those fields are liable to be eaten by these big, huge crocodiles. Like, they were alligators, but they were as big as a crocodile. Man, these things were huge. The St. John's River runs through that Star City, and it joins up with some other rivers, Tanilanahachie or something like that, or something. I think that's the other rivers. But in the pool that they join in together, all these streams come from all these different, like, little rivers that have all these game, crocodiles, everything. Not crocodiles, but alligators, big ones too. And so if they were going to put one on TV, a show, they could go to this one area that I went to and get all the crocs all day long they wanted. They were all over the place, man, and they were different sizes too. And I'm standing right by the pool where it's real calm and silent right at the moment. Because what's happening is another croc or alligator is sneaking up behind you. He's crawling, sneaking up behind you. And you're just standing there, you got your camouflage on, and you're waiting for some game. You're doing hunting, but you're being hunted. So he gets up and he hydroplanes this thing, and he weighs probably over 200 pounds. And he comes flying at you, and wham, he hits you and knocks you into the pool of water right there. And guess who's waiting? Mama and Dada and Grandpa and Grandma. They're all there waiting to get a piece of you. All they're going to find is your bow and arrow on the ground. If it wasn't in your hand when you got knocked in. It's the way they do it, man. They got a feast. You're a meal. You're a monkey to them. You're just something that can be eaten. And they taste your blood. That's what it is in the jungle. And in the jungle down in Florida, there's holes that are about 4 feet in diameter. If you're a small man, about 160, 170, right there, and you can bend down, you can walk through them holes all, but you don't want to do it with a bow and arrow. You want to do it with a gun, because you don't know what's going to come out at you waiting in them holes. Because those holes go deep into the jungle. They're game holes. They're where the hogs and all the other that go to the muck and the mire in the daytime to soak in the wallow in the mire and all that. Well, they go through these tunnels that run through the jungle. They don't just go trampling through a jungle. They got these routes. They're all generation after generation uses them. And you can get down into them and you can crawl and walk through them. They're in a different wonderland, man. It's a whole different thing. And, man, I knew I wasn't going to go in there with a bow and arrow because you don't have time to pull back a bow and arrow while you're in there. You're crouched down and all that. When something comes up to you behind you and stuff, you get your bow turned around to shoot them. You can't. You got to have a gun. You got to have a big rifle-like gun, something to put down a bear or put down anything that you can have a damn tiger come out of there. People let things go down there. There's snakes down there. I'm not kidding you. There is snakes down there that can eat a 7-foot alligator. Swallow it whole. Now, I'm only 5 foot something. A 7-foot alligator. These snakes, they sneak up and squeeze them to death. An alligator, they squeeze an alligator to death and then swallow it. That's how big the snakes are. We're letting them loose down there. They're huge. I had one pinned down one time, a rattlesnake. Close to 7 foot. It was a record rattlesnake. A surveyor that I knew pinned them down with his surveyor poles. They come across them while they were out surveying that property I'm telling you about. They were resurveying it because the banks were caught in a fraud because there was 75-foot frontages and they had to have 100-foot frontages to build a house. And a land fraud deal. Everybody bought this land. They couldn't build houses because it was zoned wrong. So there was a land fraud went through, and people just got out of it. Put it in somebody else's hands. And I was living on that property. There was a couple of houses that they had built that were spec homes. And the one they built that was a spec home was a duplex. Apartments on both sides. And I rented one of the apartments for $75 a month. And it's secluded out there, and it's beautiful. All the hunting, all the fishing, had canals all over it. I caught bass out of there, huge. My wife caught a 5-pound bass out of there with a cane pole. I put a worm on the end of it. I said, "I'm going to sit here, honey, and just twirl it through the water and see if you can get anything to bite." And she did that. She had a big cane pole, put it over there, and she had this worm, and the worm had a real wiggly tail on it. She was just going through, and I went down, probably 30 feet from her or something, down so I could fish. And a big, well, not a big one, but about a 4-foot gator came at me. Snarling and hissing at me and everything. Came up to the surface because I was in his territory. I was fishing for his fish. Yeah? What are you doing in my territory? Trying to scare me away. I just look at him. Then I heard my wife screaming. And as I'm looking at this, I said, "Oh, shit." So I went running to her. She says, "Down in the bushes, down in the bushes." I mean, what's down in the bushes? "I caught a big bass." Oh, you should have seen the size of it. It came up, it was watching that worm, and it just watched it, and all of a sudden just came up and swallowed it. And I was on my end of my hook down here. I got on my cane pole. I gave her a cane pole, So here I am fishing sophisticated equipment and everything, right? She's on a cane pole. She just caught a 5-pound bass. Whew. So I'm looking down. She says, "Where is it?" "Oh, down there in the bushes there." Because I brought it to the shore and it got caught in the bushes. I couldn't bring it up. So I'm just holding it here. So I went down the bushes and sure enough, it balled up a nice, great, big, huge 5-pound bass. Ah, man, it was huge. It was big. Biggest bass. I never caught a bass that big down there. She caught one bigger than me on a cane pole. I just set her down there just to let her play and, play around. Never thinking that a croc could come up behind her and knock her in. There were some big, not crocs, big alligators down in that area. I wasn't even aware of it. Ah, God just protected us. That was a big surprise when that 4-footer came up and hissed at me because I was fishing in his territory, What are you doing in my territory? This is my territory. Get out of here. Hissing at me and everything. And then I saw the biggest bass. Oh, wow. It was huge. It was a record bass. It was a huge bass. It had been 25 pounds easy. I saw it in those channels down there. And it's going to be eaten by one of them crocs. Huge bass. The crocs are getting into those channels, and they're just eating everything up that's been growing there for 10, 15 years. Cattails and everything. all water. The water's 10 feet deep in all those canals. They have all these canals running back in the back land. So when it rains, it runs into the canals instead of floods everything out. Okay? And all these canals are hooked into the river. So that's what I hunted. I hunted all those canals and fished them and oh man, it was God had blessed me. God blessed me. He did. He blessed me. He blessed me. He blessed me. Boy, those are the days. I had a boat, brand new boat. Some old timer polished it every day. I told him I was working with youth and that I was going to use it in my day camping. Okay, I'll sell it to you for what $1,500. Holy cow, man! This boat was worth a lot of money. $1,500. Okay, I'll take it. Bam! I had myself a beautiful boat. Water skied behind it, everything, trick skis, and I had a lot of fun with that boat. I let it go for just exactly what I paid for it. I gave somebody else a deal. A friend of mine next door, he had a guy. He says, "Why don't you give him the same deal you got? Why, you gonna make a profit on it? Why don't you give him the same deal you got? Make him feel just as good as you." Okay. That's what I did. I sold it just what I paid for it. I didn't make any money on it. And then, of course, Stuart Leventhal was his name, Stewie. And he was just a young man going through college, who are you, who do you think you are, or whatever, He's got an attitude about him, Oh, yeah, mess with me, I'll arrest you once I get out of college. I'm going to be a cop, be a police officer or something. He was a detective or something. Leventhal, something like that. I ended up working with juvenile delinquents. He ended up probably in the prison system somehow. I don't know what he did. I tried to get a hold of him a couple of times. We were like brothers, really, living next door to each other. And then Gene came. He was a factor. He was Jewish, too. We were all three Jews. I was a Jew. They didn't know I was Jewish. They didn't know I come from Jewish heritage. They just knew I was a Catholic, and I go to church all the time. I sang Christian songs and all that. I don't know. They started trying to test me. Started making situations to where a girl, I'm home alone. We're way out in the country, right? I'm home alone, and I hear a knock on my back door. My wife is at work, and I open up the door, and there's a girl standing there with a bikini on. And I'm going, she says, "Where's Gene?" Gene was who was staying with Stuart next door, I says, he's not home. His truck isn't out there. "Oh, where is he?" "Oh, I wanted to talk to him." And I says, "Oh, jeepers." I says, "He's not here." He says, "You want to put something on? You want a shirt or something? Give you a shirt or something. You put a shirt on." Because she was standing there in her bikini, right? She wanted to talk to whatever. Maybe he's trying to snag him or something. Gene wasn't home, but I was. So I'm trying to think, who's trying to snag who here now? So I just handle it like a father with a daughter. I says, well, come on in. I says, well, you can come in here. I says, well, put a shirt on you. Okay, I want you to have a shirt on and stuff. So I gave her a great big huge shirt I had. She put it on. It was like a robe. And I talked to her and I says, hey, Gene's not here right now. He says, you'll have to, you can't stay here. I said, my wife is going to be home shortly too. And so she says, okay. So she left. I left with my shirt. Oh boy. So how did that look? I just can't go through life. How did that look? Because everybody says, oh, I remember you, Nixon. You were a hood. You were a street corner bum. What are you talking about? Who are you now? I said, well, that's when you knew me when I was a ninth grade dropout. Right? Isn't that about what I was? A ninth grade dropout. I was around in my teens somehow. Yeah, I dropped out of school. You knew me then. Well, I've got 2 4-year degrees now and 1 2-year degree. I'm not that same person anymore. I've kind of like stepped up a little bit. Don't you think? Ninth grade dropout, and I have 2 4-year degrees. 2 degrees. I have 1 AA degree, and I have 1 BA degree, and I have another BA degree in my social sciences. I got from University of Central Florida. I got social science. I'm also a member of the Honor Society, Social Science Honor Society. They had a 3.0 average or better to be in that. And I'm a full-fledged member, have a certificate and everything. So, 9th grade dropout to college graduate. How do you document that? 500 videos. I put them on there. Some are 3 minutes, might be a song. Some are 4.5 hours, might be everything. Or a big chunk of it. I even talk about my molestation when I was a child. What I had to go through, what I still go through. Why I want that molestation, that pervert law to be extinguished. Get it off the books. No more rights for perverts. You don't get a chance to go in and adopt a child from an orphanage. Bull. Because what do? You bring him home. It might be completely innocent, but he's got to listen at night. He's going to listen to you and daddy at nighttime when you adopted him. And then when he gets to be sexual maturity, what is he listening with? Jar Vaseline in his hands. I think you perverted a child right there. Makes him want another man. So that's why I don't like the law. Because intentionally or unintentionally, you're going to influence that child into homosexuality. And in God's kingdom, there is no lust. There is no pickle smooching. There is no sticking your tongue down another man's throat. Not in heaven. So, there's your answer if you want an answer of why God is looking down on people making love with their faces. It's all right to live in a community where men love men and women love women. It's all right to live in a hall community like that. There's nothing wrong with that. If it's holy. If it's not holy and they're taken off for 3 or 4 months, meeting a woman or meeting a man, and then all of a sudden they're missing for 3 or 4 months, then they want to come back and get in again so they can find another man or another woman. That's the way a lot of these monasteries are getting. And I experienced it in a Benedictine monastery. It had holy priests, had holy people, but there was a lot of not holy people there too that were in high positions. Priests, brothers, bishops, abbots. There's a lot of things that happen in the monasteries that people don't know anything about. My mother will tell you she was brought up in an orphanage, in a Catholic orphanage, with nuns who were pregnant by a priest. Nobody ever knew it. They wore them big gowns and all that stuff, Time to have the baby. Just go have it somewhere. Where nuns, boarders, or they say, oh, somebody left an adopted child, a child at our doorstep last night. Whose is it? And they don't do any DNA testing or anything like that, blood testing and all that. That's back in my mother's days. I don't know what it's like now. I don't want to know, because I hear it's worse. All I want to do is pray and pray the rosary and obey God as best as I can. And that's to put up with all my shenanigans too. I got a wife to deal with that's decaying right in front of my eyes. She's got diabetes and she's falling apart. And she's getting old and I can't stop it, man. She's getting real feeble old, like nursing home. Well, I'm going to try to take care of her. But man, is it a job? Just getting motivated myself. I'm trying to fight my sickness. If I can overcome my COVID, long COVID, without the cough, get busy working, then I wouldn't be gaining weight again. I'm gaining weight. I was like 217. I'm up to 250, 248. I think 248 last night was on. Mine was 248. I can't do that. I'm going in a different direction now because I'm still sick. Sick after 600. I don't know how many days is. If I said, hey Google, how many days is it from December the 8th, which is the last day of COVID, and the first day of post-COVID, called long COVID. I got pneumonia. I wasn't harmed, didn't die and all that, but I did get pneumonia from it. Because I had too many things happening to me in an old age. I withdrew from all my narcotic that was taken under a doctor's prescription, that is, hydrocodone. For my back, I got spinal stenosis. I shrunk from 5'10" to 5'7". My shrinking and it's killing my back, my bottom of my back. I can feel it. Oh man. Oh God. See, I just move it around a little bit. And I gotta watch out because I'm celibate. And if I move around like that, it makes me think about that type of emotion. And I can't do that. I can avoid all near occasion of sin. So it's hard for me to stretch. Oh man, I'm telling you, 25 years being celibate. Wow. Some of the times, I don't wish I did. I just thank God I didn't. I just got one more hump to get over. And that's very infrequent. I mean, my back teeth have to be, oh man, I want a woman. I want a woman. I don't want a man. There was a time when I was a child, I thought I wanted a man. But I gave up all my childish ways. Once I became a man, I quit thinking like a child. Some of us just never get out of thinking like a child. Once I was a child, I spoke like a child, I acted like a child, I reasoned like a child. But now that I've become a man, I've given up all my childish ways. Am I a man if I can control my desires? I control my desires publicly. Sometimes it's hard because the injustice that happens to you. Like somebody steals from you right from your face, right in front of you, and they steal $100, and you know they did it. They know you know they did it. But when you say, "You crook, give me that," you're a thieving. What do you call me all these names for? I says, what I call you? I called you a hoodwinking thief. That's what you are. Hoodwinking thief. Stole $100 from me. But then I gotta realize, I gotta forgive that person. Black fingernails and tattoos all over myself. And I look at him and says, man, you are lost, buddy. You needed that $100, huh? You had to steal it from me. And then when I said, I put 3 piles of $50 down. 2 50s in each pile. And I had 3 piles. That's $300. I looked at him in the face. I said, here's $300. Slapped it on the table. He goes, okay. I said, how much more? He goes, $68 more. So I gave him a $72 tip. And then the thought came to my head, oh, I need a tuner. I'm going to go get a tuner. So I left everything there, trusting me, trusted. I left my money on the table, both piles, one with my wallet on top of one pile of money, and on the other pile I was paying with. And I'm off lollygagging, looking for a tuner to my guitar with. I come back. The guy looks at me and goes, you're $100 short. I says, what are you talking about, $100 short? Those weren't 2 50s. Those were 2 20s. The last pile. You put 50, 50, and then 2 20s. And I looked at him and I says, you're stupid. This guy's stupid. I'm $100 short, right? I'm $100 short because he put the 2 50s in his pocket. And he's thinking, I got 2 $50 bills in my pocket, $100, right? So he goes over my other pile and grabs 2 20s and puts them in there in place of the 250s. And he says, you're $100 short. Well, you dummy, I'm only $60 short, idiot. Not 100 that you took the 250s, put in your pocket. You got in your head that I'm $100 short. And you forgot to subtract the 220s you took out of my other pile and substitute them in the pile. Whenever you said there was only 250s, and 220s. I'd only be $60 short, not 100. But 100 in your mind because you took my 250s and stuck them in your pocket. And crook. Thieving crook. Hoodwinking crook. Quit calling me names. He's calling me names. He's saying I stole. He starts shouting it out and everything, right? And I says, man, what a game this is. I just watched them do it to the guy in front of me about 45 minutes before they did it to me. Do. Dealing with cash, and you're older, and you look like you have had, you're on drugs or something, maybe. Well, I might look like I'm on drugs. But... So the guy that came in just before me was a DJ. He had his Yankee hat on, a white hat with a black Yankees. He goes, I'm a DJ. He says, I work out every weekend. 3 jobs. I get $400 for each gig. I get $100 an hour. And I supply all the music. He's got all this music equipment and all these lights. And he's a DJ, professional. So he's standing there, he's counting out his money. He says, this is the cash from my deals I just made over the weekend here. I'm buying some new equipment. So he's counting it out, 100 in this pile, 100 in that pile. He had $1,200 somewhere around there. $1,200. And he had it all in piles. The guy looks at him, and he was on another customer. He looks over, he says, I don't have the time to count all that out. He says, I'm going to take it back to the counter. The guy says, okay, go ahead. So the guy stops what he was doing with the other guy, and he grabs all the money and puts it in a big pile. Grabs it all together up in the big pile and takes it back there. Comes back with a slip saying, you're $100 short. The guy goes, what? And I'm thinking, I watched him count it. He wasn't $100 short anywhere. It was missing a pile of $100. And this is I said, something screwed up here. So he goes, you're $100 short. The guy said, I know. He's looking all over. He's looking for a pile of $100, that might have fell on the floor or something, the guy says, no. He says, and then he goes, why, you think I'm lying? You think you call me a liar? You're saying I stole it from you? You stole $100? And he goes, no. He says, I don't know. Here's another 100. He got his stuff and he left. I don't know if he ever went back or not. But that was the $100 scam. You take all the money back. You come back with a slip, hand it to him, stick 100 in your pocket, and the slip says you're $100 short. This is what the counter says. And it's your word against his, because you didn't go back with him. You didn't watch what he did. You put it and trusted him. You trusted him. That's what I'm saying. You can't trust anymore when you go to these stores like that. They deal with money, and they deal with people that have money, and they don't make it. A lot of people don't pay taxes on the money they make when they buy musical equipment because they're getting paid for doing something like a DJ job. You pay $400 for doing one of them jobs. You're there, 6 hours? 4 hours? I don't know, I think it was 4 hours, 100 an hour. and he supplies all the music, all the DJ stuff. He's got a program he does. You know, he does all that for your party that you're having, a wedding reception or whatever he's doing. And he does 3 a weekend. You know, it might be a private prayer place or a private birthday somewhere, or, you know, they hire him. And, you know, it's $400. So he does 3 jobs a week, and that's $1,200. He had it all counted out on the counter there. He counted up each pile. I watched him count each pile, you know. And the guy looks at me and says, I can't take time and count that now. I'll have to take it to the counter. And the guy says, okay, you can take it. So he took all the bills in the piles and wadded them all together and took it back. He came back with a slip saying, you're $100 short. The guy goes, what? What are you talking about? He's looking around the floor for a pile of $100, you know. You know, he got ripped. And here I am, watching it all happen. And he just paid the 100 and left. The other 100 left. Because you don't pay taxes. So what's he going to do? Call the cops? And they investigate, and then they're going to find out his scam, you know. So he just got out of there. So, maybe again, he does pay taxes. I don't know. It's just I'm making a record of it right now, what happened. So, the first thing that I noticed is when I bought my guitar. I bought a $2,000 D'Angelica. And I'm looking it over now, and boy, I overpaid for that. Boy, I got ripped on this one. But anyways, you live and learn. But there wasn't a D'Angelica guitar. It wasn't on the wall. And the guy was trying to sell me a guitar, and I says, I want one that's electric, but it's acoustic, too. You know, oh, we got one. I know where there's one. And he goes to the back room, and he comes back, brings out this D'Angelica, called the Angelica guitar. I said, oh man, this is what I'm looking for right there. He sold $200 off on it. I said, how much is it? He's a couple grand. Yeah. I said, oh, okay, it's $1,800. All right, I'll take it. So I bought that guitar. And now I was wondering, I was thinking, why wasn't it on the shelf? Why did he have it hidden in the back? He gets commission on the guitars, right? And the good ones, you know. And then there's another motivation he could have. Maybe he was going to get that guitar different. He was going to buy. He said, I had it in the back because I'm going to buy it. I was thinking about buying it. He's assistant manager now, right? He says, yeah, I had it in the back, in a suitcase, in its own case, and just sitting there, you know, because I'm thinking about buying it. I said, oh yeah, on minimum wage, huh? You're going to buy that on minimum wage? Yeah, okay. You're waiting for, well, what I was thinking is he's waiting for the general manager to go out to dinner or something with his mother or father or something. And he'll leave him in charge. And now there's no cameras, so he's going to stick that guitar in his trunk of his car when he's in charge. Nobody's going to see anything. But what they don't realize is that they have digitally photographed all transactions done at the cashier. And the transaction that they ripped me off and the other guy off, they had documentation of it, but they weren't aware of it because the documentation goes to Chicago. And now Chicago can come and get these guys. But they joined up with another group. And they don't want to cause a stink, I guess. I don't know what the story is, but they know darn well I got ripped. And so the other guy got ripped because it was all on a video. But the people that work there don't know that they're being digitally monitored by the main company. They don't know because of how they're going to catch them. If they know that they're being digitally monitored. But I got that in from some guy that was in the business, knew what was going on, and he let me know what was going on. Says they're monitored, every transaction at the cash register is monitored. But not in their store in Chicago. They can watch all transactions from their stores in Chicago. And it's all taped, digitally taped. So they know that I got ripped, and they know the other guy ripped me too, but they're not doing anything about it. So on Judgment Day, that will come up. God will be just. He's giving everybody a chance. Maybe that kid that has the tattoos all over his body and the black fingernails and painted fingernails black. He had a problem. He was assistant manager in training because the guy that just hoodwinked the other guy out of $100 was training this guy that hoodwinked me out of $100. When I counted it out in front of him, put it right in front of him, counted it out, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 300, right? Yep. How much more? $68. So I gave him $72 tip. Then I dude, and I got to get a tuner. So I hurried up and I ran, looked for the tuner. I come back and the guy's looking at me and goes, you're $100 short. I said, what? I just counted it out to you. Here's what I just counted out to him. And then my other pile of money that I had with my wallet on top of it, Mr. Trusting. I trusted all right. I got ripped royally. But anyways, when he says you're $100 short, I says, what do you mean by that? He says, well, those aren't 250s, those are 220s. So I said to him, well, I wouldn't be $100 short. I'd only be $60 short, idiot. So you took those 250s, put them in your pocket, then forget to take and subtract the 220s you took out my other pile to put in place of the 250s you put in your pocket. What do you think you're dealing with here? Some stupid man? I dealt with you guys for years. Years and years and years. Juvenile delinquents. I've been kicked in the shins more than once. And all you are is a graduated juvenile delinquent. And he thinks he's going to be assistant manager at minimum wage, okay? He's got you all psyched up because when he wants to go do something, he's got somebody to take in charge because you're an assistant manager. And then that's when you can rip them. Because you got all your guitars ready in suitcases in the back. So when you get in charge of the store, just go back there and stick those guitars in your trunk. And you're home free. Nobody saw anything because they're only digitally monitoring transactions at the cashier, not what's going on in the back of the store. And I caught a guy doing that with my guitar. He was going to rip it. He says, oh, no, I know where there's one. He goes back and brings it up. He says, I can order another one of these, he says. I get commission on it. I thought, okay. Look at it. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I bought it. D'Angelica. It's not bad for a better guitar. It's probably one of the better guitars. I just put a new set of strings on it last night, so I'm going to be sitting down playing it today. Here I am talking again. Another hour. Oh my God, hour and a half. I'm a talker, aren't I? So anyways, God bless y'all. I might be doing some music here shortly.